Hello, I'm Julie Williams, Migration Down Under. I'm a registered migration agent as well as a New Zealand immigration advisor. And I'm going to be talking to you today about skilled migration for both Australia and New Zealand and just what the differences are. They're both very similar as far as they are points-based. You get allocated points for your age and your work experience, your qualifications, and your occupations have to be on the list. You put an expression of interest in, and if you have the sufficient points, then you are invited to lodge a visa application. Both Australia and New Zealand require a skills assessment prior to lodgement of an expression of interest. But I guess the main area that we're looking at today is for those of you who are not achieving an invitation through the Australian skilled migration or don't quite meet the points for Australian skilled migration but want to look at New Zealand, thinking and believing that, hey, maybe New Zealand's a little bit easier and simpler, but unfortunately it's not so. There's a number of different lists, occupation lists in New Zealand, very similar to that of Australia, where unless your occupation is on a list that is on the long skilled term shortage list, you are not going to be able to reach the required pass mark for New Zealand. Current as of today, the pass mark for New Zealand requires a minimum of 160 points, and that's rarely achieved without obtaining the bonus points of having your occupation on that long-term skilled shortage list, or not having a job offer. As for similar to Australia, New Zealand gives emphasis or provides more points for those that have achieved their qualification in New Zealand, and also who have achieved their work experience in New Zealand. So whilst you're here in Australia and you've perhaps obtained a qualification in Australia, whilst it will be recognised in New Zealand, it doesn't necessarily give you additional points. So really, New Zealand skilled migration is no easier than Australia. And when it comes to getting bonus points for a job offer, it has to be a genuine offer. It can't just be a job offer from a restaurant offering a restaurant manager's position, or from the local supermarket for a retail manager's position. It really has to be a legitimate job offer that you have been and show that you've got the relevant work experience. That's another big key as well, work experience, both for Australia and New Zealand. So if you haven't got the work experience in Australia, it's very unlikely you're going to achieve an invitation for New Zealand migration. So whilst it looks like it could be an easier backdoor, unfortunately, Immigration New Zealand skilled migration is no simpler than it is for Australia. But if you do want to have a look at your qualification and skills, just to have a look to see whether you would qualify, please don't hesitate in contacting us either on the phone by 02 9419 5411 or through email info@migrationdownunder.com, and hopefully we'll be able to guide you further.